All right. Great. There was a thing about, AI and how it will all work within system of work. I'm not anti-AI, but I've worked a lot with very nerdy PhD people in machine learning. So how will AI change everything? I don't know, to be honest with you. But someone recently who's invested very heavily in AI, they said to me, oh, Andy, AI won't replace humans. Humans using AI will replace humans. And I said, great, because 95% of the world don't really know how to use AI yet. So I've got a few more years until I get replaced. So that's my answer to that one. So welcome, everyone. The future of fun work. This image below is hilarious because that is very much me, LFG, and that is very much one of my co-founders, Theodora. No, she even is known as Grumpy, so she doesn't have much fun at work. I do, I have a lot of fun. All right, let's get very active. So, work is fun. If you believe in this statement, stand up and put up your right hand. Do you believe this statement? Stand up, stand up. Be proud that you think work is fun. Very good. Stay standing, keep your hand up. Stay standing, keep your hand up. Let's see if we can get the whole room up. All right. Work is not fun. If you believe in this, stand up and put your left hand up. If you're already standing, put both hands up. If you're a bit conflicted now. Some people still seating, you don't have any beliefs. Okay, that's fine. Having no beliefs is also fun. All right, let's try and get the whole room up. If you believe that work can and should be fun, stand up and put both hands up. You don't have to stand if you don't believe it. It's a belief system, almost. Very good. I'm just going to quick grab a selfie on this one because this is a great result. All right, a lot of people believing that work can and should be fun. That's great. You can all sit down. Thank you very much for your participation. Okay. The way to make work fun lies in three core areas. The layers of leadership, the 3 Ps, the 3 Cs, the 3 Ds, and the question, what is fun, right? So Alex already introduced me and had you thinking, what is fun to you when it comes to work and stuff? So let's start with a story, the tale of sad man Andrew. I look like a 16-year-old skateboarder. That's on purpose, to keep myself feeling young and pretend that I can skateboard. I've been skateboarding since I was 5 years old. I can't ollie. Holy shit, that's terrible. But anyway, I am very old, and I've been around a long time, and most of my career is the corporate world. Big, huge US corporates, Russian corporates, European corporates, and then a lot of startups, a lot of mid-scale, SMB, SME types. And I was utterly miserable. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand my purpose, right? I'd done that ikigai thing about 100 times. It was only when someone came to me and said, I think it was like circa 2012, when I was 1 year into my career, wink, wink, that someone said, Andy, how the hell do you get your teams motivated? How do you keep going? And I was like, what? No idea. I didn't actually understand it. And it's in that moment that I really started thinking, okay, what am I doing that makes my teams happy, that helps us deliver our KPIs, that helps us use system of work and all of our tech stack and interact and everything like that? And I realized it all came down to those 3 Ps, 3 Cs, and 3 Ds. And that's when I started really focusing and honing in on that, and as a freelance consultant, started working on it much, much more. So, these 3 core areas is what I'm going to focus on today in the next 15 minutes or so. But who is the Fun Squad? What is our company, Fun Inc.? We are 3 consultants. We're a very, very small company, but we have a very big dream over the next 20 years until I retire at the age of 50. Changing the business world to create a world of happy humans. Everywhere I go, one-on-one, doesn't matter if they're an admin who's 22 years old, or they are a shareholder who'd invested in companies for 30 years and they're 70, one thing is constant, everyone seems to be miserable. Very strange. So we want to change the business world. How do we do that? Through strategic growth. Strategic growth through cultural change is how we do it. And thus, Suze is focused on system of work. You just heard all about it from Atlassian, how products, processes, people all interact. I'm on the commercial growth side, everything to do with sales, partnerships, eventing. I've had a very heavy career in mergers and acquisitions, which is quite fun. All of the good money-generating side of things. And Theodora is on marketing. So she is all about web, interactions, SEO, social media, et cetera, helping to deliver that commercial growth. Let's look at the methodology. The first one, as you remember from that slide, is the layers of leadership. So, 3 layers, 2-way comms. It all begins with operations, but operations cannot function without tactical plans. And those can't be made without strategy, but strategy can't be made without tactical input. And that in itself is useless without operational feedback. Now, some people might look at this and go, oh, isn't it a chicken and egg story? Like, where do you begin? Begin anywhere, doesn't matter, right? If you are a startup, you have to get going on your operations, otherwise you have no money, you have no revenue, right? If you're a giant corporation and you're sitting there as the C-suite team, you've got 16,000 people underneath you, and you're like, my God, those people, how are they supposed to use AI to replace humans when 95% of them are incompetent and stupid and we don't want to pay them their bonuses? Well, maybe start with a strategy. But you have to get the feedback from everybody else, otherwise you're just a C-suite just sprouting in the town hall a load of nonsense going, oh yeah, great. And the next day, people in the layers below you going, we have no idea what you're talking about. So it's really important, those 3 layers and the 2-way comms. Now, fluffy harmony. I love the word harmony because it's got the word harm in it, which is hilarious. And this is where the 3 Ps and the 3 Cs and the 3 Ds really come into play. Where's Dave Liao? Oh, D. It's all about the people, the products, and the processes. People very much on top if you're looking at it in like a triangular way. If any of the communication lines on these is broken, if any of the camaraderie, the friendship, whatever is broken between them, that's when things really start to go wrong within companies. That's what I've learned. That's what I've been fixing in companies for the last... I started freelancing around 10 years ago, when I was 9 years old. And that's what's helped me be very, very successful as a consultant and has helped us be successful as we started up Fun Inc. And products, by the way, that could be any product. It could be the product you use internally. It could be the product that you're selling to somebody else. It could also be services if you, like us, are a services company. What helps bind them all together is the collaboration, the communication, and the camaraderie. So camaraderie is a very difficult word to translate from the English language into what I've discovered doing this presentation multiple times in different countries. It does not translate well, but there is probably a Romanian word for it. And it's all about brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever genderhood. Same word? Oh, I wish you and the Bulgarians were similar. Holy crap. We had a whole slide just for the Bulgarian term, and we spent 3 days working out what it is in Bulgarian, and we had Bulgarian text on the slide. It was very, very fun. So great, don't have to explain that anymore. How do we make sure that all of these 3 Cs are working very, very well? Well, diligence, determination, and dedication. From the individual, from the team, from the division, from the entire organization. What we are trying to aim with all of this is to make it not harmful for the company, right? Don't have to do hands because some people might be embarrassed, but how many times have you just wanted to scream at your manager? Think about it in your head. Once, twice, every 5 minutes. I have literally screamed at CEOs. Even when I wasn't a freelancer and they're paying me a lot of money, I've just been like, do you have a clue? You've just laid off 35% of the staff, and now you expect the rest of us to just do the work? Oh yeah, but you know the shareholders, my life is so hard. Well, you know, go to your Texas mansion with swimming pool and court and go cry in your spa, right? That sort of stuff. So we want to aim for fluffy, not harmful. Now we can do a hands thing, because here's a really interesting one. I hope that all the hands go up. Who would, in an ideal world, in a fantastical way, who would love for this to exist in reality in all companies? Hand up. If you didn't put your hand up, you need to go see a therapist. All right, fun in the workplace. This is brilliant because you are going to go away thinking, oh, I thought he was going to tell me the answer. No, not at all. Beers and pizzas. I love this meme across all social media. There's a lot of these flying around. It starts basically with management like, oh, how do we motivate our staff? And then there's a video of like, oh, we know, beers and pizzas, that's the job, right? Job done. Do you know what's interesting? For some people, yeah, someone does want work to pay for their beers and pizzas at Friday, 3 p.m. I've worked in companies where everyone's like, oh, work's over, we did our timesheets at 2:30, badly, so they had a word with Andy first, and then 3 p.m., fuck it. You know, they were all 40-hour contract, but the office was like, oh, it's Friday, who cares? Even the CEO's not in the office right now, right? So beers and pizza, it does work. But this is a great story. I've only got 20 minutes today, so I have to go through it very, very quickly. But basically, one of the companies I used to work for, we went on an off-site skiing very close to where the developers had their offices. At the top, mandatory fun. Everyone must be at the dinner for the first evening. Then Andy wanted to go nighttime skiing. Everyone else was tired. No one went with him. He was all alone. And then, very, very last evening, Theodora and I were like, what should we do? The food's not that great at the hotel. And we were like, oh, there's a good-looking restaurant, 5-star review on Google. And so we just broke away from the other group. And we sat with them for dinner. Then we just said, we're going to go and do our own thing. That's what we thought was fun. And then this one's really, really cool. I did a public workshop for anyone who wanted to join. Some really cool companies turned up, and it was all about this 3 Ps, 3 Cs, 3 Ds, and like what is fun, et cetera, et cetera. This lady was a legend. She literally just whipped out, there was some whiteboard or some mini whiteboard thing, and she just started taking notes frantically, listening to everyone. And towards the end, I said, you've hardly participated, what's going on? And she goes, well, it's just so interesting to me, like, what is fun? I work for TUI, one of Atlassian's biggest customers, 60,000 user licenses, which is very cool. And I used to be utterly miserable because I had 80 reports. And it was just a nightmare. Like, I had no time for them. I couldn't do my one-on-ones, meeting marathons, all the same old stuff. And she said, I really need to learn what fun is because now I've only got a team of 12. And we're still not having fun. And everyone's still miserable. And they're all coming to me and going one-on-one, and, oh, I hate my job. I want to quit. I want more money. I want la, la, la. And this woman wrote it down frantically, like really like, oh my God, what is going on? So that 2-hour workshop was very, very fascinating to see how corporates are viewing this and like what's going on with what is fun. I reached out to her 2 months ago, and she said, we as a group, we as a team, we now worked it out. We've worked out like how we're all different, what makes it fun, et cetera, et cetera. One of the answers was beers and pizza. Ooh, corporate shareholders are very happy. Okay, so what is fun? Like that lady from TUI, can take a few workshops to work this out for individual teams. But unfortunately, it can take years for organizations to work it out. Fun is very, very, very subjective. What's fun for Andy? Coming to Bucharest, right? I've got a super busy work schedule, so the moment this is over, I'll be at the back like a boring idiot on my laptop. Apologies to the up-and-coming speakers. Theodora hates traveling. She doesn't want to leave her area, her city. She wants to go to the gym. She wants to get her work done, et cetera, et cetera. Fun is very, very subjective. So here's a really important question for you to take away. What do you think is fun? What is fun for you in work? How do you want to work with your colleagues? How do you want to achieve? How do you want to get those KPIs done at the end of the week? So as a reminder, what is the future of fun work? Yes, it's not only beers and pizzas. The future of fun work. Get those layers of leadership working. It is difficult, but dare to communicate, right? One of the C's. If your manager's pissing you off, just tell them, right? Don't leave it. Don't leave the company. Be like, oh, thank God. They won't know. They won't change. You know, nothing will get better. But think about those 3 layers. Then the 3 Ps, the 3 Cs, and 3 Ds. Very difficult to get on top of, but you know, focus on where you think you can have the most impact in your work life, right? Were you very successful in a project and like 2 or 3 of you worked very hard to deliver something, but you hate each other? Well, maybe, you know, use some communication. The camaraderie during the project was good, and now we hate each other's guts and we don't want to see each other after work or whatever. Have a little chat about it, communicate. And then the last one, what is fun? Fun, very, very subjective, right? I made that very, very clear. So go away and work out what is same but different about you, about your colleagues, internationally, nationally, in the same city, doesn't matter, but it's very, very subjective. Now, that is all great and very airy-fairy and very high level and very philosophical. So I'm going to end on my favorite motto that we have at our company. We have many, many mottos. Info and ideas are great, but action and results are better. Who here listened to Lawrence's talk and went, oh, robo agents, AI, my God, I can't wait to get back to the office on Thursday and do that? Hands up, honestly? Yeah, great. So what I want you guys to do during the next moment is something very, very special, but I want all of you to partake. So let's have some action from this very, very intense 2 days. Everybody stand up. Everyone has to stand up this time. There's no belief systems. We're going to take some action. All right. Now, all being well, because none of you are boomers, you have one of these, right? So grab your phone, and I want you to grab the most handy app that's going to work for you to note down a task. Could be your calendar, could be Trello, could be Jira, could be even just notes itself, right? So I'll do the same. And I want you to use that app, whichever one you selected, to put in a task. I want you to choose a day and time this week that you're going to block only 15 minutes, very short amount of time, right? So make a note to yourself or use your Google Calendar, 15 minutes, right? And I want you to think about my presentation, and I want you to work out from all the presentations which one has delivered you the biggest takeaway, right? Alex talked about silos, talked about being a dad. Lawrence has talked about the system of work and that beautiful, colorful diagram. Andy's talked about what makes everything fun, right? And then I want you to put an action on it. Lawrence's slide, right? 90% of people experimenting, just messing around with AI, have benefited from it, right? So whatever happens in the next 2 days, choose a date and time this week, and I'm going to do it now as well. Ha ha ha! Was I first? Did anyone beat me? Who beat me? But yeah, a few people. That's fun. Awesome. Okay. So info and ideas are great, but action and results are better. Whatever you hear this week, think about it, note down your takeaways, and put some actions onto it. Now you have a 15-minute slot this week to just deal with one of the takeaway. Because something Alex said that I find a lot, everyone is overwhelmed. That word is coming up a lot this year. I'm not sure why, definitely a trend. Everyone's overwhelmed. So take 15 minutes for yourself any day this week. Key takeaway, put some action on it, and actually do it, no matter what it is.
You can leave your phones down just to give Andy a round of applause. A quick reminder, don't cancel that calendar invite. Don't postpone it, yeah? Could you tell us your thoughts, like your 2 cents, and introduce yourself a bit?
Hi, I'm Victoria from Titan Apps team. We're making smart checklists, smart templates for Jira and other apps. What was my main takeaway? Actually,
highlights.
First of all, I managed to stand, so kind of be focused on Andy, because sometimes you are kind of distracted over here with something.
Cool. So actually using the phone for the purpose of the
Yeah, for the purpose of pictures, for the purpose of work, for something. So I was focused. Thank you, Andy, for that. And also I made a note about thinking 15 minutes about this event on Thursday, actually, which is also important.
Do you want to share the action that you want to take on Thursday or whenever you have the calendar invite set?
Yes, yeah? I will actually think over what was the most important and how I will use it in my team.
Got it. Victoria. This was Victoria, and then let's go for the right or left side tweaks. Do you want to share a couple thoughts? Yeah, sure. Cool.
Hi, everyone.
Sylvia here.
Yes, my name is Sylvia. I'm from Edenred. So my take, first of all, quite a different presentation, and that makes an impact. Congratulations for that. My take is that indeed fun is quite subjective. So I didn't stand either on fun or not fun at work. I think work needs to be passionate, maybe somehow entertaining for the people that are enjoying it. But fun is for the free time for me, given the subjective meaning. However, that doesn't mean that work should be hard in your brain to do it. So irrespective of the fact that you're thinking it's fun or not, it should be something that you believe in.
Thanks, Sylvia.